Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows my sorrow. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Glory, hallelujah.
Captives embarked on a grueling march, sometimes as long as 600 miles to the coast, where European ships awaited them. Many perished from the rigors of the trip. Others resisted their captors and were killed. The Atlantic crossing took from 4 to 8 weeks. Men, women, and children were crowded into tightly packed quarters. The ordeal was so demoralizing that the Africans often sank into a deep depression. Some chose death rather than to endure the degradation. By 1860, there would be 4 million African slaves in the United States. This enormous population of slaves was owned by a small group of the wealthiest and most powerful whites in American society. As African slaves toiled in the fields, laws were created to enforce their low status. They were prohibited from participating in lawsuits, from owning property or firearms, and from possessing alcohol. Most states did not recognize slave marriages and often prohibited slaves from learning to read and write. The treatment slaves received from their masters varied tremendously. Some owners were brutal sadists who worked their slaves mercilessly and threatened them with corporal discipline so painful that it amounted to torture. A slave had no protection from this mistreatment because the law considered a slave another man's property, not a human being. When a slave suffered a whipping, he could neither fight back nor take his master to court. Slaves developed an independent culture unknown to their masters. They spun fantastic spoken narratives that passed from one generation to the next. These folk tales expressed the enslaved Africans' aspirations for a better life. Many slaves found strength to endure oppression through their religion, which blended Christianity with African beliefs. At the core of slave society was the family. Slave families suffered when one member was sold to another plantation. Owners usually kept women and children, selling off the father and sons. On the well-established plantations, black families had a better chance of remaining intact, some enduring for 3 or 4 generations. Although religion, folk tales, and family life softened the horrors of slavery, they did not lessen the humiliating aspects of servitude.
Jump down to the round, pick your bell, cut and go to jump down to the round, pick your bell a day. Oh Lord, I pick a bell of cotton. Oh Lord, I pick a bell a day. Oh Lord, I pick a bell of cotton. Oh Lord, I pick a bell a day. Me and my partner had a pick a bell of cotton. Me and my partner had a pick a bell a day. Me and my partner had a pick a bell of cotton. Me and my partner had a pick a bell a day. Oh Lord, I pick a bell of cotton. Oh Lord, I pick a bell a day. Oh Lord, I pick a bell of cotton. Oh Lord, I pick a bell a day.
Coming for to carry me home, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I'll go the Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home, a band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Sweet Lord, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home, sweet Lord, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. If you